You are now listening to the Vitalize podcast. Hey yo, what up, family? Welcome back to the Vitalize podcast. You're here with your friendly neighborhood host, Mr. Marcus Black, and I'm so incredibly excited, elated, ecstatic, and all the other fancy words to start with E to let you know I'm in the presence of greatness today, and I'm happy to be here with you. So what up, though, man? Wherever you joining from, if you're joining from this country or that country, matter of fact, this is what I want y'all to do, because I know y'all all over the world with it. I want you guys to go to my Instagram, shameless plug, holla at your boy, at mblackspeaks, and I want you to leave a comment. When you see one of these clips from this video, when you see this jacket, silky smooth, whatever you want to call it, I want you to go and I want you to leave a comment on that post and tell me what country you're joining in from. You can just say the country. You ain't got to say the city. And I just appreciate y'all for rocking with me, an international audience. I think the last I counted was like 64 countries and loading. So I just want to say thank you, man. From the bottom of my heart, I'm filled with gratitude today. I'm filled with excitement. I'm filled with juice, joy, all the above as a result of me getting to rock out with you. I get to be with you on a regular basis. I get to holler at you. I get to say what up, though, on a weekly basis. And I couldn't be more grateful. My heart is filled with gratitude because y'all remember, some of y'all was here in the beginning. Go with me on a journey. Come with me. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship. And I remember sitting in the spare bedroom of my man. Shout out to Taylor, by the way. Let's give Taylor some love, man. Give Taylor some hand claps because we've been rocking from day one. We grew together. We ain't always have all of this. We ain't always have 17 cameras and lights everywhere and all. We ain't always have that. You know what I'm saying? We had heart, though. We had a lot of heart. And we had a spare bedroom with some equipment, music equipment, and some stuff. And in that room is where I started. This whole thing started. And I remember recording episode 1, and I remember being so afraid because I was like, why would you start a podcast, bro? Everybody starts a podcast, bro. Nobody cares what you have to say, bro. Why would you do this? What are you doing? And this is what I was thinking. Who cares what you have to say? Who's gonna listen to you ramble 30 minutes at a time, bro? They don't care. You came from the mud. Who are you to think that you can do something like this? And I might just be talking to myself because maybe y'all always been incredibly confident in yourself. Maybe y'all didn't have moments where you questioned and you doubted whether you had something to say. Maybe you didn't have moments where you were unsure of the greatness that lived inside of you. Maybe that was you, but I can't speak for you, but that was my story. And I sat in that room and I did an episode called Do It Afraid. Do It Afraid. Season 1, episode 1. Shout out to the beginning. And now to think that there are you, those of you who are all over the world, that there are those of you in over 60 countries around the world who tap in and say, I'm going to get my fuel from M Black Speaks. Those of you who are literally listening now on YouTube, shout out to the YouTube family. I see y'all. What up, TikTok fam? I see y'all. IG, you know what it is. That's home base. And now we recording this joint live on Chatter Social. What? I be telling y'all been hitting me up for invites. To the couple of y'all that got y'all invites. Welcome to the family. To the rest, I don't know what to tell you because y'all be missing out. Y'all been hearing me every week now calling these people names because they probably talking right now. They right in front of me. I can see what they saying. Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom. Honey is right there. I see her in the building. My man's Duran is in the building. You know what I'm saying? Y'all say hello so I can say hello. My man Nick, what's up? OTM Nick in the building. Y'all say hello in the chat so that I can make sure that they know, like, this is alive. They right here. They saying it. They right there. What's up, Fireman Ben's in the building? What up, though? What up, Kelly, Alicia? I see you, Makita. What's up, Trey, Tina, Dro? He clean and I love you too, honey. What's up, Detox in the building, Chef? What up, Chef? I see you, girl. KG in the building. What up, Kim? What up, Sheena? Auntie Yvonne is in the building. She been here rocking from day one. Tony with the keys. Isha, what up, though? The favorite. Jeanette. Look, we out here, man. We outside. But where you at, though? You could be here, too. You could be right here with us. All you got to do is holler at your boy, man. Send me a DM on Instagram and just say chatter. I got you. I'll send you a link. It's invite only right now, but you can join the club and you can be in the audience too because you can. And I would love nothing more than for you to pull up on me and for you to be here as well. So you see this over here, that's what I got going on. It's my people, man. And my people, they doing it, and I'm grateful to have them right here. But I would love for you to join us for real, for real. It's a great opportunity to build community, to build relationships. Many of those names I just called some of the best and the brightest in across a myriad of vocations. So you definitely want to tap in. And now, speaking of tap in, I got a story for y'all today. If you're here for the first time, welcome. I want you to know that you are a valued, honorable guest of this community. However, ain't no such thing as a second-time guest around here. So once you pull up one time, you family now. So welcome to the family. When you come back, you can take your shoes off, kick off your shoes, and you can relax your feet. And we're going to get ready to party on down with a morning motivation beat because we can. We just kicking it. That's what we doing. So listen to me. Listen to this track. I can't help myself. That's another story I want to tell y'all, but I'm going to say that for another day. But I do want to pause for the cause and just say, man, this episode has been sponsored by Cam's Custom Print Shop. Cam's Print Shop here in Oklahoma City. Like, yo, Cam is really like that. Cam is that dude. He also got buttery vocals. He's an incredible musician. He also has one of my favorite songs. Shout out to Cam. We got a show. Matter of fact, I'm going to just say this. We got a show in Oklahoma City coming up. It's the first Friday in October. So listen, if you can get here, because this episode will drop before that, get your ticket, holla at your boy. I might even give away a couple tickets to a couple people. If y'all want to come, my wifey will be performing that night as well. We going bananas. So if you like live music, real music, R&B, yo, we going up because we can. But Cam is going to be singing there as well. But Cam also has been running this incredible print shop for years. Screen printing, designs. He can help you customize your design, help you digitize it, put it on merch, and ship it all over the world. So if you want to holler at my man, visit Cam's Print Shop. I will have it linked in this show notes, so you ain't even got to worry about it. And then you can just put in the code, plant your flag, and you get 10% off of your order for whatever it is you want to put on the shirt, and he can ship it anywhere to you. So make sure you holler at him, because really, like, I swear by him. He has made my merch from day one. He will continue to make my merch until the day I die, because he's the quality. I think the last episode I had a Because You Can shirt that I bought 3 years ago that had no fades, no scratches, none of that. Like, he really liked that. So the quality is really that next level, which is why I continue to rock. So shout out to my guy. Shout out to you, Can. Appreciate the sponsorship, bro, and the friendship and the music. The music. People won't hear me say that. The music. And I'm looking forward to it. So listen, man, y'all know I actually just came back from California. That's another story. I'm going to get to that because that still don't even feel real. We just filmed a cinematic trailer, like a movie of my life. What? Anyway, we ain't talking about that today. But before that, I was in Texas for my bro, man. Shout out to my bro, man, Mr. Trent Shelton. If you don't know who he is, you're going to learn today. You can look him up, holler at him. He's one of the top motivational speakers in the world in a personal and professional development industry. He is someone that I've looked up to for a long time. He is someone who has opened doors for me. He's someone who has poured into me. He's someone who has taught me the game at a high level, how to do this the right way. And he's someone who just hosted on his 40th birthday, like literally something he's never done before. Normally his experience is just him, maybe a couple of guests to move some things, but he brought in other speakers to participate, to be a part. So it's like the biggest one he's done from a platform standpoint. And I remember thinking, like, the day he hit me up and told me he wanted me to be a part of it. And I was like, oh, what you mean? You want me to be a part of it? What do you mean? Well, I hit him with the Drewski, man. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Anyway, I'll come back to that. I hit him with the Drewski. And what do you mean by that? He's like, bro, I really... like, you've done nothing but be consistent. You've done nothing but put in the work. It shows. And I'm bringing in my favorite speakers. I want you to be a part of this lineup. And I'm just like, wowzer. And I was blown away by that, because y'all just heard me say on this episode, I remember when I started my journey thinking, like, who cares what I have to say? Who's going to listen to me ramble for 30 minutes at a time? Who cares? Like, I got it out the mud, bro. You haven't done anything of note yet. You don't have bread yet. You don't got a home. You don't have a family. Yeah. Like, when I first going back to the beginning, I remember where I was, and I remember the thought processing I had and how I didn't know what it took or how to be a man or how to be a leader or how to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know how to do none of that, but I was learning, but I was growing, but I was going, but I was building. And one of the most important things I did was surround myself with people who were doing it at a high level. And some of y'all is like, well, I don't know people that are doing what I want to do at a high level. That is not an excuse. You can start for free. So I don't want to hear, well, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. You make time for what's important to you, first of all. Second of all, I don't want to hear I don't have the money, because YouTube University will teach you whatever you want to know. I learned how to be a self-published best-selling author on YouTube University, and now I've been able to help so many other authors cross that same bridge as a result of that investment I made in myself. That was a time investment, not a money investment. But it took a lot of time, but now people pay me to accelerate that process for them because they don't got all that time to be doing hundreds of hours of research the way that I did. So don't make that excuse about not having the resources. But then when you get a little resources, now it's like, okay, well, you're saying I got to be around these people. How do I get around these people? You got to get in the room, fam. You got to get in the room. Okay, how do you get in the room? You got to invest. You have to invest. If you want to have access to information, people are access points. People are doors, right? Relationships. Those are keys that open doors. Relationships are keys that open doors. Shout out to my man Tito for the quote. Relationships are keys that open doors. So how do you get more relationships with people who are of note or people who are where you want to be? That comes with an investment. Like before Trent was my bro and my friend, my guy, he was my coach. He was my first coach. And I had to invest in that in order to get access to that time. But that investment has returned 100-fold. Because of the information that I got, because of the proximity that I got, because of the doors that was willing to open. This is what I'm telling you. If you want doors to open, you got to be in proximity to the people who can open doors. And how do you get in proximity? You have to invest. So that what that means is you might not be able to go out and turn up every weekend and get your Ciroc. Oh, no, not Ciroc. No, Diddy, we ain't on that no more. You know, whatever it is that you like to turn up to. Whatever it is that you like to turn up to, like, what, you know, whether you like tequila, you like to go. And I'm not telling you don't enjoy your life. I'm just saying that stuff is expensive. And if you getting you a couple bottles every weekend, but then you're out the same mouth making excuses talking about you can't invest in a program, you can't invest in a coach, you can't invest in something that's going to level you up, your resources, and something that's going to expand your knowledge and your mind and pay dividends back to you and not be something that you just allowed to leave your body, for lack of a better term, that goes in and right back out. Come on, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm just challenging you to think bigger. Like, where are your priorities? For me, for real, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to tell myself it wasn't alcohol for me. That wasn't never a big thing. For me, it was food. Oh, I love a good steak and potatoes. So I was having that like 3-4 times a week. Do that math. You know how much a steak costs? And I don't want no Applebee's, Chili's. I don't want no rubber, like, feel like it's cloned meat. Like, I want an actual succulent, buttery steak that you could cut with a butter knife. Anyway, that was me. And so that's where somebody said, you want to know what's important to a person? Open that bank account. And you will learn what's important to an individual just by looking at the last 30 days of their bank statement, by what they invest their dollars in. And for me, it was food. And so that's something I had to really check myself. Seafood boils. Do you know how much crab and lobster cost? A lot. But I had to learn that if I'm going to prioritize this, I can't do that. So your boy had to become Chef Boyardee so we can cook it up at the crib, so I can give my family 5-star meals and we can still enjoy food, but at a much lower cost, so that I can make room for the resources to invest in myself. And that's how I got in proximity to greatness. So Trent became my coach, and he opened doors. He taught me the game. He showed me the ropes. And then Les Brown became my coach. Some of y'all know who that is. One of the greatest speakers the world has ever seen. Like, both of them at the top of the game. So you got to get in proximity to the people who are doing what you want to do so that you can learn what they have, because whether you know it or not, there are rules to the game, and you got to learn the rules if you want to play. And some people are like, well, it shouldn't be that way, and I don't want to do that. I want to do it my way. But then you ain't never going to get where you want to go. And I'm not telling you not to find a way to make it your own, but I'm saying you have to get around the people that know what they're doing, that have done what you want to do if you want to accelerate your process. Or you could just go bang your head up against the wall, go through a lot of unnecessary hurts and pains. And I don't know about you. Time is money, and I don't want to lose either. I don't want to lose time nor money on things that I don't need to do if somebody I can invest in can show me the way to avoid those pit holes and mistakes. There's so many things that I can teach you, I just thought about it because I was just thinking about all the times I bumped my head and all the things that I almost did that Trent was like, don't do that. And I didn't do it. And come to find out, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't do that. Boy, that boy protected me from so many things. And I got this long list of things. But anyway, that's what happened. And that's the relationship that we built. So to go from that and all of that and remembering that whole journey and tracking from the beginning of not knowing if I had something of value to say, of not knowing if I could or ever would make it, to have a full circle moment years later of him saying, I want you to be a part of this event. And so it was 2 events for his birthday. There was a morning event, which I hosted. I spoke and I hosted that event, which was crazy. Being able to serve in that capacity, being able to bring energy to the room, being able to help bring his vision to life. That was everything for me. And then at the end of the day, having the main event, that experience and really opening, setting a tone through this spoken word that he and I co-wrote, which is crazy. All of that's crazy to say. I remember watching his spoken words before he even knew I was a person that existed on the planet. And to go from watching those videos going and garnering hundreds of millions of views all around the, I mean, in the billions now. I mean, individual videos getting hundreds of millions of views, to now his collective having billions of views, which is insanity, to now being not only just sharing a stage with him, but to be a part of the stage, to be a part of moving the program forward, and to be a part of sharing heart and life and voice and love with the people. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is crazy. Like, in the most beautiful way, it was a full circle moment for me. So watch this. Now I'm about to get to it, what I really want to share. So the morning went really well, just like I knew. I mean, that's my element. That's what I do. Shout out to K Dot. Some of y'all are surprised to hear me say that because I'm the president of Drake's fan club, but I also respect greatness. So shout out to K Dot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was in my element, and nobody was gonna take me out of it. I'm not even gonna look at the comments and chatter because I can only imagine what they saying. So I'm gonna stay focused on the mission. But that evening, I'm not gonna lie, like I got to meet so many incredible people. Many of them I named earlier. I got to meet them. They travel from all over, you know what I'm saying? They travel from all over the country. I'm talking everywhere you can think of. I'm talking Utah. I'm talking Florida. I'm talking Ohio. Like, I mean, they came from Colorado. They came from all over. Like, they just pulled up on me from New York, from Washington State. Like, I mean, they came from all over to be at this experience. And so it was incredible to meet. So I was excited to be with my people and to see them and to hug their necks and to give bear hugs and all of that. Like, that was really cool. But in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, like, I gotta deliver this spoken word though. You know what I'm saying? And I'm such a heart speaker. Like, I don't normally memorize anything I say. Like, nothing I do is just it flows out of the overflow because I have so much preparation and I have done this so many times. I got so much repetition. I don't normally memorize anything. So that's where I'm at with it. But I have to memorize this spoken word because it's to an instrumental track. So every line, every bar has to land at a certain point in the track for it to end the way it's supposed to end and for it to have the impact it's desired to have. So that's a line of pressure. I ain't gonna lie. In the back of my head, I'm like, man, and I know that this is a big piece of this puzzle for him. It was something that he really wanted me to do to bring to life. And so I did not want to let him down. I didn't want to have a J. Cole moment. You know, Nas was J. Cole's hero, and he did not want to let Nas down, but he did. And so he had to make a whole song about it, how he let Nas down. And I'm like, please don't tell me I'm gonna have to make a book about how I let Trent down, man. I don't want to do it. No, I don't want to let him down. I don't want to let him down. And this is what was on my mind. So those of you who was with me and you know that, like, y'all was kicking it with me, in the back of my mind, that was the back of my mind the whole time. Like, I was getting to hug y'all and smile and share laughs and be able to take pictures. But in the back of my mind, all I could think was, I am not about to sit here and I don't want to let Trent down. Like, I was very afraid of that process, you know. I didn't want to let him down. And so when I found myself in that place, I remember, you know, after having lunch and with the squad and the family, and that was a beautiful experience. Also, shout out to my good sis, Honey. Yo, shout out to her. She was engaged in that process, in that lunchtime, man. Was able to see I had tears in my eyes, man. That was a really good moment to just see love happen, a whole restaurant gathered around, and to be able to play a small part in helping that come to reality as well was really beautiful. So I was feeling good, but it's still in the back of my mind. Even after all of that love, I did not want to let my bro down. So we got to meet back at the arena. Everybody goes their separate ways. I get to the arena. The thing starts in the afternoon, but it's like 3:30. And I got to practice. So I'm there. I'm a little nervous, but I know it. I know the words. I know it, but it's like it ain't in my heart yet. So I'm like, ugh. So I go and they play the track from above and I run through it and I start and it's like, welcome to the land of legendary. And that was the first line. And then I did it. I ran through it and I ran through it flawlessly that first time. And I was like, oh my God. Oh boy, I got it. Okay, we're good. And so I was like, you know what? Just for good measure, let's run it one more time. So she said, okay, whatever you need, bro. She ran the track back. I ran it a second time. The second time I got through it again, but I stumbled over a word. Not like I missed a word. I just got tongue-tied. But I finished it. It landed exactly how it needed to land. I was feeling good about it. I was like, cool, that's a bet. But I'm like, you can't end on that because it wasn't perfect. Run it back one more time. Third time's a charm. Just run it back one more time, and then I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to go home and get dressed, rest a little bit because it's been a long day. Some of these people were here for this, so they don't know all of this is happening in the background. Y'all about to see. I talked about this a couple of days ago. Y'all going to have a crisis with me. I talked about this on Chatter, so y'all ain't heard this yet, but they have heard this part. So when I went back and I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I can't end on that note, run it back another time. She ran it back the third time, because I said third time's the charm. Third time was not the charm. On the third time, I got lost in the sauce somewhere and my brain was like so discombobulated, I was way off on the beat. So I was like way off. So I'm like, oh, no, okay, well. Then my heart started to get a little nervous because I'm like, wait a minute, you can't be messing up. Now it's almost showtime, bro. Get it together. So I said, okay, run it back again. Fourth time. All right, I'm going to get through it. On the fourth time, I got like 4 bars in and I lost the line. I couldn't even remember. My brain went incredibly blank. And then I sat there and then I started to panic because there's a room of people, the other performers who are watching this go down. And now I'm getting nervous and now I'm messed up. And now I'm like, oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh. I felt J. Cole's voice getting louder in my head. I can't believe I let Nas down. Some of y'all gonna go listen to that song after this. I was like, man, I can't believe this is about to happen. So I said, hey, can I breathe? Give me a second. Let me catch up. Wait a minute. I was like Kevin Hart. Let me wipe it off. Let me wipe my voice off. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me move to the side. So I took a couple deep breaths. I slowed my breathing. I took 60 seconds. I came back. I recentered. I refocused. And I said, okay, run it back. She ran it back. I did it that time flawless. I went all the way through it. I said, okay, I got it. Thank you so much. See y'all later. I got to go. I got like an hour to get home, get dressed, get ready for the night, and to get back. So I ain't have a lot of time. But I got in that car, and I was questioning to myself, bro, why are you messing up? Like, what is happening? Why is it that you are messing up? And I was like thinking to myself, I don't know why I'm messing up. So what did I do? This is what I did. I ran it in the car and I messed it up again. I said, bro, you are tripping. Showtime is in like an hour. Run it back. I ran it back again. I messed it up again. I was like, oh no. So I'm so nervous at this point. I'm back at the hotel. The valets pull up. I give them the valets take the keys. I run up to the room and I'm like, oh my God. And so I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I didn't say this part on Chatter the other day. I swear to you, I curled up in like fetal position. I ain't gonna hold you. I literally like laid down on the bed and was just holding myself because I was thinking like, bro, all these people believe in me, bro. My family, like these are my family. They pulled up on me from all over the country and they here because they like, man, M Black Speaks, that's our guy. And not only am I about to let Trent down, I'm about to let them down too. This was in my head. They came all this way and I'm gonna get right out there and fumble the bag. And I tell y'all these stories because I want you to see the full journey. Because many of y'all see me on stages all over the world killing it and lighting it up, but I'm a human, G. Like I'm uber confident in my ability. You can give me a microphone in any room on the planet. I will blow the roof off. If you want me to talk, like do what I do in my element. But you talking like spoken word, which I can do. I write spoken words all the time, but I'm not in the practice of memorizing them and delivering them. I'm not in that practice, and I probably should be. So that something about that, I was just psyching myself out, and I was laying there holding myself, rocking. My wife was over there getting dressed, and she was looking at me like I done lost my mind. And she was like, "What is wrong with you?" She was like, she had to give me the pep talk. She had to slap me in my face. She's like, "Yo, I'm gonna need you to remember who you are. Like, for real, you're not finna sit down here and act like you ain't who you are, because I know who you are, and I've seen you do this too many times to be sitting here acting like you don't do this." And I was like, "Okay, you're right. I do this for real." Even though I was a little scared, but she was right. She always good for a kick when I need one. So I got my little self up, and I went and I got dressed. We got ready. She was ready. Called the valet, because that's a cool thing, by the way. You can now scan a barcode and it'll alert them that you're ready for your car, so you ain't gotta wait when you get down there. So I pulled up. The car was ready when we got there, and I said thank you. We got in the car. I ran it in the car. And I got it right, but then I ran it a second time in the car, and I messed it up again. When I say messed it up, I wasn't losing words. I was just off on my timing. And I'm like, the whole time I was learning the words, I was never off on my timing. Now that I know the words, I'm off on my timing. What is happening? This is not okay. I'm having an internal crisis, a whole crisis on the inside. So watch this. Some of y'all is like, oh my God, where is this going? Stick with me. I will never tell a story without making a point, but I will never make a point without telling a story. Shout out to Les Brown. He taught me that. So when we get to the theater, my wife is getting frustrated with me because I'm still acting like I don't do this. And it really was a pressure. It was a different kind of pressure because, again, I knew how much this moment meant to him. I knew how much this event meant to him because I know my bro. And I like so much, man. This was the last theater that his mom got to be a part of one of his events. He tragically lost her. She passed away due to cancer. May she continue to rest, Miss Aqua. I know she was smiling down on my bro. And that was a huge hole in my bro's heart. So I know he wanted everything to be right for her because he wanted her to smile and be proud. I know my bro, you know what I'm saying? I know his heart. So I was thinking about that. I was thinking about my people who pulled up and how proud and excited they were to share. And I was like, oh my God. So I get in, there's people, I see some of my people, there's people taking pictures, and I'm like, okay, I just need to get to the back. So I get in, I'm like, okay, let me go to the back and just rehearse this a couple of times. So I get in, get situated, I get to the back, and there's kids everywhere because there was a youth choir that sang. So I'm like, okay, the kids have taken over the green room, so that's not gonna work. So I gotta find somewhere else. So I'm like looking for a hallway. So I duck to the back and I find this back hallway, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna be able to breathe here. And I turn the dang corner and I see Trent Shelton standing with Inky Johnson. And I'm like, oh my God, what? If y'all don't know who Inky Johnson is, look him up. Do yourself a favor. He's online at Inky Johnson Motivate. INKY Johnson Motivate. That dude, those two are literally the two singular human beings who have had the biggest influence on my life as it pertains to what I am doing. Listen to both of them before they knew I was a person who existed on the planet. Inky Johnson, we got so much in common. I love this dude for his heart. I love that they are family men. I love that they are men of character and integrity. I love that they do. I just love who they are on and off camera. And I had never met Inky, but I know people that know him, and they said he the same on and off camera. And I already know Trent is the same on and off camera. And so I got to meet Inky, and that's true too. But what I thought I was gonna do when I turned that corner was I thought I was gonna be sitting back there, and I thought that I was gonna go be able to run them lines, but I'm like, well, not now. So I go dap Inky up, and he was like, man, we've been following each other on social for a while now. He was like, bro, I just love the work. I love what you're doing. Like, man, I love the way you show up in the world. Keep showing up. And I'm like sitting here with my actual heroes, and they like gassing me up, and I'm just like, oh my God. And they like, D-Flow comes around the corner, it's like show about to start in 5. And I'm like, I'm about to hyperventilate because I didn't get a chance to run this, but I got the chance to share with Inky and share my heart with him. And he got to hear some of my story. We really made a connection. That was really beautiful. My bro Trent Henry Amar was back there. My man Marquise Hill was back there, like real MJ Hill. Like, man, it was like all the guys who were a part of the event speaking were all in this hallway. That was a really cool moment as well. So the show starts. And I hear it going, and I'm like, okay, well, this ain't gonna work. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go find somewhere, another random hallway where I can practice this. But I wound up watching a little bit of the opener of the show, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I'm reading through the lines while I'm watching that. So I'm kind of multitasking. And now we're about 30 minutes in. Trent's doing this little thing. Like there's about to be this thing. Like, so my boy was out there, he was doing it, and then there was the musical performance, and she was right before me. So right before her musical performance, I finally found an open space and I'm back there. So I'm like, okay, let me run this one time, get it in me, make sure my mind is good, make sure my heart is good, and I'm gonna go slay the day. I got back there. I can still feel that same feeling in my stomach. I can feel it. And I went back there, and when I got back there, I started to practice it. And I got about halfway through, and I messed up on a line. And then I stopped myself and I said, okay, bro, now is not the time for this. You got to get it together. Gave myself that pep talk. I was listening. I was like, okay, get back in the game. Here we go. You got this. You got this. So I ran it back, started the track over. I started speaking to the track. This time, I didn't even make it past the fourth bar. I messed up again. And that's when real fear creeped into my soul. And I said, bro, what are you about to do? You finna go out here in front of all these people and you messing it up. And here I am, and I'm right here, and I'm thinking there's so much fear and anxiety in my mind and my heart. And right when I finish and I'm getting ready to run it back a third time, I get a tap on the shoulder by the backstage producer that says, you up, you ready? And I was like, oh no. I guess I gotta be. I don't have a choice. So I start walking his way. My heart is racing, my stomach and my mind is turning. And I look at my phone, and the last thing I see is a text message from my wife. I see it, shout out to Rachel Black. And I saw that, and that was crazy. And I'm going to read it, actually, if I can find it, because we be texting a lot. That's my boo. Let me see. All right, here it is. She texted me this, and this is the last thing I read before I went on that stage. She said, in all caps, stop overthinking. You know this poem. She said, dig deep into this moment and kill it because you can. Quit acting like you're not a legend yourself. And those were the last words I read as I walked onto the stage. And I walked onto the stage to the applause of all of the beautiful people in the crowd, many of whom were familiar with In Black Speaks. And so I got out there. And when I got out there, you know, once they stopped cheering and the music came on, I said the first line. And I said the first line. I looked and I saw Trent's father. And Trent's father was smiling really big and shaking his head like, this is the one. And after I saw that, it gave me a void of confidence. And then I looked to my right. He was to my left. I looked to my right, and I saw the open seat where his mom sat at the last experience that they had reserved for her now. And it had her name on it. It said, and in that moment is when I said, all right, we about to do this. We going up. And I was no longer thinking in that moment. And in that moment, it was out of the overflow. It was out of the preparation. It was out of everything I did. And when I tell you I did that, I did that. And I remember finishing the last line, and I finished with because you can, you know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Like the end of that bar, it was like, all right, so now it's time. Lean in, open your mind, open your heart, open your soul to receive a perfect plan and get ready for the experience of a lifetime in the land of legendary because, and then the people yelled at you, can, and then they started cheering, and in that moment it happened, and I walked off the stage, and the first thing that happened was Trent came and he hit me in my chest, and he said, that's it. That's it. That's it. You set the tone. You did it, bro. That, like, it was exactly what he was looking. So I could tell he was in his mode. I could tell he was ready. I can tell I did not have a J. Cole moment. I did not let Trent down. And so now I'm like overwhelmed. I was shaking. Like I felt, I don't know, like I felt myself shaking, which I can't tell you the last time I felt that experience. And so now it's like coming real. They're like, okay, bro, you did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. I get from that moment and I keep walking, and the next person to come up to me is Inky Johnson. And he's like, bro, that was beautiful. That was so beautiful. Wow. He said, "You did that." And I'm like, "Bro, what is happening right now?" Like, I'm literally sitting backstage with my heroes that I'm sharing a stage with after I just finished doing what I did. And at that moment, then everybody's like, "Oh my God, that was incredible. Great job backstage." And now I'm like, "Okay, I need water." So I go, I find some water. My hand's shaking when I open the top. I get the water, I drink the water, I get back and I sit down. And I get back and I sit down. My adrenaline is starting to come down. I'm getting text messages, people telling me, I'm getting tags on Instagram. It's like my phone is blowing up. When I sat down in that seat, Trent pulled up. Trent was sitting to my left. And then Inky was sitting right here to my right. And I was sitting between the two legends who had the biggest influence on me in my life. And matter of fact, y'all don't know this. I'll show y'all soon. I got a dear friend, shout out to her. I create art. She is making a custom portrait for me that she is painting with me and the legends who had the biggest impact on me. It's 5 of us in that picture that she's painting. And those 2 are 2 of the 5 that are in that photo. So I'll show y'all that when she finishes it. But when I tell you, my God, I sat there in that seat, and when my adrenaline went down and my thoughts became clear, emotion overwhelmed me and I just started crying uncontrollably. Not like ugly cry, like I was able to keep a little bit of decorum. But tears were just running down my face. And all I could think was like, bro, I did it. Like, I really did it. Not the poem. I mean, I did it. Like, I made it. Like, that was, for me, that felt like the moment I arrived. And I've been on some of the biggest stages in the world. I'm a TEDx speaker. Like, there's no bigger platform you can speak on as a speaker, as a professional speaker, than TEDx. I've done that. I've been in Forbes magazine that I didn't pay for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been like an actual interview for the impact that I've been making in the world. Like, come on, man. Like, I have been on some of the biggest stages in the world with some of the biggest speakers, but that was the moment that solidified in my heart as I sat with 2 of the biggest inspirations. And I'm sitting here when I would know what it was just a few years ago, and I was sitting in that front seat looking up, and I was looking up thinking, man, I was looking up hoping that one day, man, one day I might be able to do something like that. I was hoping that one day. One day I might be able to share my heart freely without the fear of judgment of what other people are going to think. One day I might be able to pour my heart and soul out and then make an impact on somebody else's life and they go and change theirs. One day I might be able to talk to people and live my dream and walk in my purpose and watch other people live their dream and help other people live their dream and help them walk in their purpose. One day. And the moment that I had as I sat backstage in that moment was that one day became that day. And I've been doing that for years. But in that day, in that moment, is when it became real to me and it really sat in. And bro, you are living your dream. You are living your dream, the thing you dreamed of. Like, I dreamed of meeting these dudes one day. And I went from meeting them to sitting with them and sharing thoughts about takeaways and sharing elements. And Inky said to me, when you do this at a high level, when you do this, what we do at a high level, you know what it looks like to do it at a high level. And he said, what I know is that what you did wasn't easy. I know how hard that is because I do this at a high level. So I have a different level of appreciation for what you just did because I know what it takes to do what you just did, to take something that's written, learned, rehearsed, and still convey emotion and passion and still make it move and make people feel it and to deliver it. In that moment, God could have took me, man. Now, don't take me yet, God. I think I got more work to do. But I'm just saying, that's the peace, the level of peace that I had in my heart from being able and willing to live my dream. And I remember walking away from that and seeing so many smiling faces and seeing all my people and taking so many pictures and so many people, so many messages I got, still catching up on all the messages that I got from all the people, man. It was an incredible experience. It was crazy and it was beautiful. And when I left that moment, all I could think was like, man, started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. I'm probably gonna throw that song in there, and I'm definitely gonna throw that song in there. You know what I'm saying? Now we here, and the whole team is leveling up, man. We're loading up, and so I share this story with you. Obviously, I appreciate you guys. I'm sure you celebrate with me, and like that moment that I just had, that's a very raw, very real emotion that you guys, and I saved telling that moment and that part of the story for this podcast episode because I wanted y'all to really like feel that and go on that journey with me, but I share that with you because somebody right now is watching this. You watching this on YouTube. You watching this clip on Instagram. You watching this clip on TikTok. You on Chatter listening right now. Wherever you're watching this, you listening to this on Apple, you listening to this on Spotify, you listening to this wherever you listen to your podcast, and you're sitting in that seat and you're listening to me, and you're in the seat that I was those years ago, and you're thinking like, man, I hope that one day that I can be the person sitting on the camera. I hope that one day I can be the person that someone is listening to and gaining encouragement from, gaining inspiration from, gaining clarity from, gaining education from, that someone is gaining the tools necessary to take the next step to go and build their best life. You're hoping. And you sitting there with just a dream in your heart and a desire to serve this world and leave something bigger than you that outlives you. And I'm telling you that not only is it possible, it's probable if you are willing to take the steps intentionally and not stop. It's probable, not possible. It's probable. It's likely going to happen. Not it could happen. It's probably gonna happen if you do your part. You ain't gotta worry about the stuff that you cannot control. You ain't worry about the platform and the dollars and who sees you and who watching and all of that. Man, forget all of that. Because I was not thinking about that when I was loading up. Only thing I was thinking about was my heart and my passion and how I want to use that to serve people to make the world a better place. That is what I cared about. That is what I was tapped into. That is what I was on the planet to do. And the rest is a byproduct. The magazines is a byproduct. The stages, the lights, the cameras, the dollars, that's all a byproduct of walking in purpose and serving the greater good. So if you have that hope and that dream that one day you can share a stage with those people that you look up to, that one day people will come from all over and they will sit because they want to be inspired by you, because they are proud of you, because y'all are family, because you have built relationship and connection to people. I'm telling you, you have that ability. This whole weekend we was talking about what it means to be a legend, what it looks like to live legendary, and literally a legend is an ordinary person with an extraordinary determination. It's an ordinary person that made extraordinary choices to say that I'm giving everything I got in pursuit of the goal and the dream that I have in my heart. Are you giving everything you got? Yes, no, maybe so. And if it's anything other than yes, then you in the wrong business, my friend, or you are not taking advantage of the time that has been granted to you, because time is the most valuable and precious resource you will ever receive. So what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with the time that has been afforded you? So my challenge to you is to know that just like I just shared this moment, this pinnacle moment, this I made it moment from the bottom of my heart, you can have that moment too. You will have that moment too. Name it and claim it. But you got to take the steps in order to make it real. You got to put in the work in order to make it real. You have to honor your craft in order to make it real. You have to invest in yourself in order to make it real. And you got to, whatever you do, just keep going. Just keep growing. Just keep living and loving life and putting one foot in front of the other in pursuit of your dreams every single day, because you can.